Hi, welcome back to No Budget DIY, the Dimebag Darrell guitar kit, the Great Southern Trendkillers Replica. I hate to start with a commercial again. However, I do have affiliate links to these really cool sanding blocks, different than the sanding blocks I showed in my last video. And there's a reason that I got these sanding blocks. And it is because I have rounded over the corners of the guitar kit, of this guitar body, and I needed something that would allow me to sand that corner without wiping it out. When you sand by hand, you can definitely warp things around, get things out of shape, etc. So I'm using this really cool little sanding block here is allowed me to cut out some hook and loop little strips that I can then put in the center of this little one, and I can go ahead and file around the edges. I'll show here how I'm doing that, and it's basically, and you can see the black here on the body, is I can just run this on there, and it's keeping the round over, and yet it is taking away the paint. So it is smoothing it out, and it is doing exactly what I wanted to do, and at the same time it's not distorting the edges. Okay, I have sanded back most of this sanding filler, the black, and so I'll bring you back in a minute and we'll continue this sanding, and I'll give you an update on where we are. Okay, again, this is coming in real handy. And another thing coming in real handy is these really stiff bristled brushes are used for cleaning off your files, so that when you're filing, you can clean it off. Well, this works really great for getting the build up or the load up that happens on your sandpaper when you're sanding, especially like doing this black here or whatever. So instead of having to change the sandpaper because it's loaded up, you can get a lot of that load up out with one of these file brushes, and then save your sandpaper so it lasts a lot longer. Okay, I'll bring you back after I get rid of this stuff here, and we'll get to work on finishing that sanding, and then we'll look to get some red paint on this today. Okay, one more time, I'll bring you back in just a minute and we'll go over where we are. Okay, I'm back with you now. I just wanted to show where we are. I did take off the masking tape, and as you can see, the fretboard now is starting to look nasty. I left the tape on for about 5 days, so it's got a lot of tape gunk on here. But again, these need to be sanded and oiled again as well. I have not finished sanding all of the rest of the body yet. I did do the flat surfaces, and I also did, I did this neck, sanded this neck, and man, the discolorations between the different layers here, this neck was really, really uneven. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and continue to sand this. I'm going to use my little 1/4 inch sounding block here, and I'll show you. Again, it works really well, and I know my roundovers over here, I felt some nicks in here and there, so this will be a good way for me to tell if I need to fill any more or what. And at this point, there's little red dots that are on here. This is a spot putty or glazing putty. Looks like that, and made by Bondo. Used this when I used to paint cars. This works great for wood filler as well. And so anytime I find a little nick or anything, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of this spot putty in, like I did on the neck. And I know there's some spots on the face of the guitar as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get to doing this hand sanding. and get all of the rest of the edges and the corners done. Finish sanding out around the neck here, and then I have to decide whether I want to do, as one of our viewers mentioned, you know, putting a wet paper towel or a damp paper towel on it to see if the grain raises, and sand that back again. I've already sanded it back now twice already, so I'm almost to the point to thinking that I can just get a coat of red on here, and we'll see what happens once I get the coat of red on here. I'll take you over and show you my spray guns. I've also got a pancake compressor out in the back that I'm going to use. My guns are very small, HVLP, that's high volume, low pressure. And I believe these two, I bought them actually from Stuart McDonald's, from StewMac. I'll get a link to the Amazon for that, since I don't have any kind of affiliate links with StewMac, or you can go and look at StewMac. I believe I bought a whole set of HVLP small touch-up type guns like that as well. I'll have to see if I could find those, and I'll provide a link to that as well. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get to sanding this. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm not even going to speed it up. I'm just going to clean up everything, and when I'm done with that, then I'll show you what it looks like right before I take it out to spray it, and then we'll see if we can get some shots of spraying it. Okay, I'll take you back as soon as I finish all this hand sanding, and most of this project is sanding and sanding. Anyway, the spraying is the fun part. All right, I'll be back to you in just a few. Okay, give me 1 second and I'll take you over and show you my paint guns. Okay, my messy toolboxes here, but I do have in this one drawer two of the StewMac touch-up guns, the HVLP. Got all the filters and the attachments. I've never used them before, and I believe that in this case below here is also some paint guns. So hang on and let me get that opened up. And yeah, this is the see if I can get it here. It's called Refine. Again, it's a nice little kit. It's got all of the brushes and the cleaners with it. It's got a spare nozzle. It does come with a smaller HVLP and the smaller cup. Comes with a large cup, and also comes with the large gun. Again, it looks like just like a Japanese or a Chinese spray gun. Anyway, it does come with a regulator, which I'm not sure I even need that. But anyway, so that's my other spray guns as well. Okay, back with you now. I've finished the basic sanding on this. It has revealed a lot of lows, as you could see here on the neck, on the headstock. A lot of lows on the sides of it as well. The neck itself was pretty uneven as well, and a lot of the corners were not really rounded over well. As you could see, they're not really rounded over, or weren't, and there's a lot of black fill in that as well. I have got all the sanding done now. I'm going to get a tack cloth. Give me 1 second and I'll be right back with you with the tack cloth. Okay, I'm back with you. Got a super tough tack cloth here. Let me open it up. I'm going to give the guitar a wipe down. I'm half Italian, so my skin is really oily, so that's why when it comes down to prepping for painting, I usually wear rubber gloves, because my skin oil gets... You don't want your skin oil on the guitar. You don't want it on anything you're painting, because it will definitely mess with the adhesion of the paint if you get your skin oil on it. So again, I'm taking my tack cloth here and just going around it. And I don't know if you can see these kind of shiny spots there of black. Those are like nicks that got filled in with the black paint. Again, I'm going to go ahead and go right to the red next after I do this. I'm also not masking off these cavities because I am going to actually want this one to be red. It'll eventually be blue once the stripes are on here, but it's supposed to match the color, and you're not supposed to shield the Floyd rose here at all. But I am going to shield the pickup cavities and the switch and the control cavity on the back. So I will be shielding all of that. And again, I just want to get this wiped off well. And then I'll go ahead and get my, I also bought it's a portable spray booth. I know that sounds funny. Rockler sells these kind of plastic shed things that you assemble or whatever, and keeps the dust out. I can tell you right now, for this first coat of the red, I'm just going to take it outside and I'm going to paint it. And if anything gets in it, I'm going to live with that, because most of this first coat of red is probably going to get sand back as well. Okay, I will be back with you once we're ready to put some paint on this guitar. Okay, I'll see you in a few. Okay, I'm back with you again. I taped up the fretboard before I took it outside to put some red on it. It's been a long time since I painted, and I bought this compressor, which I'll show you a little video of what it is right now. So here's my Cobalt compressor. I got this at on a deal from Lowe's that came with 3 nail guns, and what it doesn't have is it doesn't have an evaporator on it or something to separate out the water. So I'm gonna have to put something on that to separate out the water, so that when I'm painting I don't spray water on it like I did on the guitar. Okay, and so I bought that because it was on sale. Came with 3 nail guns. It's been so long since I actually painted with a compressor. I've done a lot of rattle can stuff, but with my compressor, and it doesn't have an evaporator or something to separate out the water. I think it's called the evaporator. I can't remember now, but I need to put something like that on there. For the reveal, here's a look at the body. I like the red. I put basically almost a pint of mixed red on here. It's a lot of grain still, but it's looking pretty good. The one thing is that, like I said, when I wasn't prepared for the water, on the front I wound up spraying a couple of blobs of water on it. But again, this is just the first base coat of red, and it's looking pretty dang good here. Dries pretty quick. I'm just going to set it back down on these bench cookies here. Keep my hands off of it. The neck is coming out really nice, actually. So I hate to say, the next steps are sanding it back again. But it's looking pretty dang cool. Again, the process has to be that I get the red on, get the red as good as the red can be. Then I got to put the white on the stripes that go on the rebel flag before I do the blue. Because what I do is I'm going to go ahead and spray the white, which will leave the little ribbon when I mask that off to paint the blue. And I'm going to put some stick-on stars where they go on the body. And that way it'll basically, after I paint the blue, I'll peel those little stick-off stars off, and I'll have the white stars underneath the blue, and I'll also have the white band on here. This lacquer dries from the outside in, so the outside dries pretty quick. So it will be emitting a lot of fumes here for a while. Again, I've got it now back in my garage, so it's kind of stinking, so I'm going to have to go ahead and open up and get some air in here. Anyway, this is part 6 of the Dimebag Darrell Great Southern Trendkillers replica. And this guitar kit's coming out great. It's a lot of fun. If you like what we're doing, please hit that like button, hit that share, hit the subscribe. Again, we have some affiliate links. I also have an affiliate link to the hook and loop sandpaper. This was the sandpaper that I basically was using to sand the corners. Comes in assorted grain, not assorted grain, grit. Assorted grit. It starts at 60, I believe it was, and goes all the way up to 400. And it's all hook and loop and goes great with that little hook and loop sanding blocks that I just showed at the beginning of the video. Anyway, we'll work on sanding this back now and see where we are from there. And again, we'll go ahead and get it sanded back and get it ready to get some more coats of red on it. When I bring you back, I'm hoping I'll already have the coats of red on it, and we'll start off with masking off the white on here to spray the white on it. Okay, and we also have to mask off the headstock to spray some black on there as well. It's coming along cool. Again, I've got the Great Southern Trendkiller sticker for the bottom horn. That's here. I've also got the headstock stickers for the headstock logo for the Washburn and the barbed wire. So we're getting there. We're getting close. Again, more sanding, and then we'll get some more paint on it. I have bought 4 pints of Dakota Red, 4 8-ounce cans of Dakota Red. I used almost one 8-ounce can just to get the base on. It did take quite a few coats before it actually started becoming opaque instead of translucent. So hopefully now we won't need as much paint to go on here. Alrighty, I'll see you guys on the next video. Part 7 coming up. Again, this is no budget DIY. This is the Dimebag Darrell Great Southern Trendkillers Pantera replica. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Oh, before I go, if you're wondering about this injury on my lip, it was actually from stress because 2 weeks ago today, I decided to cut a branch out of my tree and set the pole saw against the tree and turned around and didn't pay attention, and it came down and hit me in the head and left me 4 stitches and a trip to last Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago in the emergency room. So whenever I get stressed out like something, and it was already starting to show in my last video, my lips will break out like this. Okay, they're being medicated. It's not herpes or anything weird. All right, I'll see you guys next time.